I'll show you how to fix a crankshaft seal on a Honda lawnmower without replacing any pieces. This Honda lawnmower has a leaky crankshaft seal. I'll show you how you can tell. Here's an identical motor that does not have a leaking shaft seal. One dead giveaway is you're going to have oil like this all around the top of the lawnmower. You can even see it up here on the plastic. You can see on this lawnmower here, totally dry. The seal is located right underneath the flywheel. Get a closer look. We'll disconnect the spark plug wire. Remove the 2 rear bolts on the top. This would be an 11mm wrench. With the 2 bolts off, the top will come up. Lift up on the tank. Set it off to the side. You can see that oil is sprayed everywhere. Remove this 3/4 inch top bolt. Hold the flywheel with a screwdriver. Loosen the bolt. Remove the bolt. Grab a 3-jaw puller. Evenly place it. Because of clearance issues, I'll use a 2-jaw. Tighten it up to pull off the flywheel. Usually it doesn't take too much pressure. This one's tighter than normal. I'll use a breaker bar to get a little more leverage. I can start to feel it move. Keep grease on these threads. You can damage these pullers real easy. This is a puller from Harbor Freight. I've had this for probably 20 years. As long as you keep grease on them, they work nice. A little more pressure than normal, but it's off. You can see the taper here. You can see this rubber seal is actually lifted here. So we're just going to go ahead and clean this up and restore it and put it back. You can certainly see all this oil right here. See, this is misshapen, but pretty pliable still. If you see any cracks or breaks in the rubber, there's really no way to soften or restore the rubber. There's a lot of products that will recondition the seals. 303 can also help restore. I wouldn't expect magic out of this stuff, but it will help soften it. I'll let this rubber soak for a while. I'll pour in a little bit. This stuff is designed for stopping leaks on your transmission seals. If it's between this and pulling the whole transmission apart, I would definitely try this. If there's a crack in the rubber, this stuff is not going to work. Cover the oil port so you don't get any dirt in here. Soaking for an hour, we'll pull it out. You're probably thinking, for $10 plus shipping, just replace it. In the back of your mind, you're probably thinking, is this really going to work? Well, when we put it in there, we're going to know right away. In order to get this to work, we're going to have to flatten this. Give it a little tap with a rod. It flattens down pretty easy. Now everything's flat and supple again. I don't see any distortion at all. I'll add a little bit of silicone grease. Silicone grease will not break down the rubber. You can see the rubber is very flexible. Make sure everything is clean and dry. Put the seal back into place. Press it in as far as it'll go. Take a big socket and we'll tap it in securely. It's got to seat in evenly. You can see everything is tapped in nice and even. Clean all this oil off so we can see if there's a problem when we start it up. See, there's just oil everywhere. Get this deck all cleaned up. Now, if it leaks, we'll be able to see it right away. This flywheel is just packed with oil. Use kerosene and a toothbrush. This will break down all that oil. Clean the top of the motor off as well. With everything clean, we'll put it back together. Line up the pin and put the nut back on. Snug the nut back on. Check the oil. That's really important. Because that seal is leaking, you can see we're low on oil. These require 30 weight oil. That's looking a lot better. Put the top back on, set it all together so we can put the bolts back in. Snug it up, put the spark plug wire back on, check for gas, give it a pull. After a good long run, you can see dry as a bone, so this is fixed.